The haunted rest stop on Route 66, United States. Route 66, the Mother Road, a symbol of freedom and adventure winding through the heart of America. It's a journey many have dreamed of, but for some, it's a journey that ends in whispers of terror. There's a particular stretch of this legendary highway in Arizona that even the bravest travelers avoid after dark. A lonely rest stop, isolated from the world, with a chilling reputation. Some call it the asterisk Phantom Stop asterisk. Others refuse to call it anything at all, fearing the very mention might draw its attention. But for those who have dared to visit, they tell stories of things that defy explanation. It begins, as most road trips do, with a need to stop. A break from the endless miles, a quick stretch, maybe a snack or a restroom. One night, a young couple, Ethan and Mia, were traveling to California. It was late, too late. The stars shone like pinpricks in an endless black sky, and the desert was eerily quiet. They spotted a small rest stop sign just off the highway. The lights were dim. The area looked abandoned, but they pulled in anyway. What choice did they have? As they parked, something felt wrong. The air was too still, too heavy. Ethan joked about it, calling it a post-apocalyptic vibe, but Mia didn't laugh. She swore she saw movement in the shadows just out of reach of the headlights. They decided to use the restroom and leave as quickly as possible. Ethan went first, walking toward the men's room. The door creaked as he pushed it open. Inside, the fluorescent lights flickered erratically, casting strange, shifting shadows across the cracked tiles. And that's when he heard it. A faint voice. "Help me." It was soft, almost a whisper. Ethan froze, his heart pounding. He called out, thinking it might be someone in trouble, but there was no response. He stepped closer to the stalls, pushing one open. Empty. Then another, and another. Each one empty, yet the voice persisted, growing louder, more desperate. "Help me!" Ethan bolted from the restroom, his mind racing. He tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was the pipes or a trick of the wind. But as he stepped outside, he found Mia standing frozen by the car, her eyes wide with terror. "What's wrong?" he asked. Mia didn't speak. She just pointed. Near the vending machine stood a woman in white. Her face was obscured by her long, dark hair. She didn't move. She just stood there, facing them. Ethan shouted, asking if she needed help, but she didn't respond. He took a step closer, and that's when Mia screamed. The woman began to glide toward them. Not walk, glide. Her feet didn't touch the ground, and as she moved, her figure seemed to flicker like an old, broken film reel. Terrified, the couple jumped into their car and sped away, gravel kicking up behind them. In the rearview mirror, Ethan caught a final glimpse of the woman, now standing in the middle of the road, her head tilted as if watching them leave. But the nightmare wasn't over. Minutes later, the car's radio crackled to life despite being off. At first, it was static. Then, faintly, the same desperate voice echoed, "Help me! Please, help me!" Mia begged Ethan to turn it off, but the radio wouldn't respond. It stayed on, the voice growing louder, more frantic, until suddenly it stopped. For the rest of the night, they drove in silence, unable to shake the feeling that they were still being watched. Over the years, countless travelers have reported similar encounters at this rest stop. A woman in white whispers in the restroom, and an overwhelming sense of dread. Who is she? Some believe she's the spirit of a woman who was murdered there in the 1970s. Her killer was never caught, and her body was only discovered weeks later by a passing trucker. Others say the rest stop itself is cursed, a place where the veil between the living and the dead is dangerously thin. But one thing is certain: those who visit the rest stop rarely leave unchanged. They carry the memories, the fear, and the unshakable feeling that something followed them home. So, the next time you're driving along Route 66 and you see a dimly lit rest stop in the middle of nowhere, ask yourself, is it worth the risk? Because some roads lead to more than just your destination. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you dare to return, subscribe for more tales of the unexplained. Until next time, travel safely and watch the shadows.